think we'll be having more people. As and when they join, I'm going to add them. But the first meeting, this is the first meeting of this year. So that way we are starting it with a movie. They're all quite excited to hear from S.Sairam about the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Okay, good evening, everyone. First of all, Happy New Year, Happy Sankranti belated. And this is the first meeting of APEX-CCB, starting with a movie this time, which is 3CB, as you know. So we have S.Sairam with us for the first review. We're supposed to have another review, but it got cancelled because the reviewer has some impending work. He has to travel somewhere. So unfortunately, that is not going to happen. This will be followed by book recommendations by different members of CCB. So now we'll have introduction of the theme that he wishes to do. S.Sairam, I'm giving this to you. Overview on Marvel Cinematic Universe. Over to you, S.Sairam. Please introduce and start.
Yeah. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Today I'm going to review Marvel Cinematic Universe. So, we all like movies, right? I mean, like, who don't?
Yeah.
Yeah, movies, comedy, action, drama, whatever might be the scene, whatever might be the language, they seize our attention. Like, how about movies on big screen? Like something big things, right? Like, we go with characters, we go with artists and all. So what I'm going to tell is that why actually do we watch movies? Maybe for the characters, like heroine, hero, maybe something more. Maybe some Amitabh Bachchan Sholay, Shah Rukh Khan's Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge. Like there are some, these are the heroes, like the Kirti Suresh's Mahanati, Dulquer Salman's Charlie. There are movies. These are the characters. They're heroes, heroines, and all. So what I'm saying is, so these are the I'm getting a little confused since this is a big PPT. Yes. All these are just heroes. So why do we like them? Because they perform things that we can't do in our daily life. Like they're the characters of the lifetime. But what about superheroes? Let me allow to steal a few of the Stanley's words, like with Graham. They're the characters of lifetime. That superheroes, they're like the characters that are larger than life. Have you ever gone to a movie, like a Hollywood movie, in an Indian theater, where the crowds are like applauding, they're shouting in joy, they're crying along with the movie that's going on screen? Like, have you ever seen them in an Indian theater particularly? Yes, I have seen them. 16 December 2021, I still remember. I was in a movie theater watching a movie where even I, along with all the crowd, I was shouting. Even my throat is aching, but still I was shouting along with the movie. I was like that much enthusiastic with that film. And the scenes are like going on, and there came some sad scenes. And I got a girl sitting next to me. I don't know who she was some stranger. She might be in some early 30s. And what she did was, first she removed her 3D goggles and then her eyeglasses. And then she was like flushing out all her tears. Maybe that was the connection this particular franchise is making with the people. Like only then I have realized that even my eye got moist, and even I was wiping out my tears. So the name of the film is Spiderman No Way Home, and it got released in December last year. And that movie has collected 300 crores only in Indian cinema, which is the highest grossing Hollywood movie ever in India. That too in the pandemic time, and the collections are still pouring. It is the 6th highest grossing movie all over the world, and with a collection of 1.7 billion worldwide US dollars. And the thing is that this movie belonged to a franchise which has got 4 out of top 10 and 10 out of top 30 highest grossing Hollywood movies ever. And it has got a film named Endgame, which has collected almost 1.9 billion, I remember, 1.9 billion US dollars, and has defeated Avatar and has become the highest grossing Hollywood movie of all time. But later on, Avatar got released in China and occupied its place. But I'm saying the potential of that particular movie, which are just superhero films, what people consider to be the kiddish or childish films. The name of the franchise is Marvel Cinematic Universe. And it's not just about Marvel Cinematic Universe, but it's also about 20th Century Fox. It's about Sony Spiderman Cinematic Universe, which are the sub-parties of the Marvel. Marvel is a huge tree, and they are the like third parties who has occupied or who has bought the characters from the Marvel. So allow me to share my screen, my PPT.
Yeah, I've already done that.
Yeah. Yeah, can you see this? Hello?
Yes, we can see.
Yeah. Marvel Studios. This is the review I want to talk about today. And let's go further. MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, is an American shared franchise. Actually, the MCU, Marvel is a huge thing. Like Marvel is not just about MCU or any other thing, but Marvel has got a lot of things to cover. Like it has got wide range of comics. And universes like cinematic universes like Marvel and Sony are using these Marvel characters to create movies like the superhero movies. And these are based on the American comic books, which are Marvel comics. And then yes, this Marvel has first came into limelight in 1940s. 1940s it got introduced and it came into limelight in 1960s. And in the 80s, Marvel started producing its own films. But the thing is that in the initial days, it was all disastrous. Marvel, it was like almost bankrupted. So what they decided is they thought of selling characters. So they sold almost all their valuable, like most popular characters like Spiderman and all its associated characters like Venom, Hulk, X-Men, Fantastic Four. Like they sold Hulk to Universal Films, X-Men and Fantastic Four to 20th Century Fox, Spider-Man and all the related associated characters to Sony. And what all they got left was the most unpopular characters they ever had, like Iron Man and Captain America and all. So this Kevin Feige, he started, like he's a member of Marvel from a long time. And in 2007, he decided to start a franchise of his own, and with the name of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, backed up by Stan Lee and all. So it got started earlier in 2007. And yeah, these are my favorites, Stan Lee, Jack Kirby. These are the people who are in the backup of the Marvel movies. So these are the people who wrote and designed those comics for us all, who made our childhoods particularly awesome. And in 2009, Marvel Cinematic Universe has become a Walt Disney company. Walt Disney has completely bought up Marvel. So yes, Marvel movie sagas. So what Marvel did was they divided their movies into two sagas up to now. I don't know how many sagas will be coming in the future. So the first saga is Infinity Saga, and the second one is Universal Saga, multiversal saga. And they did they grouped their movies into phases. Phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and phase 4. And in Infinity Saga comes 3 phases. I don't know who exactly has got this picture, like who designed this picture, but they designed it in up to mark. Like they got every single character, and so you can see how those characters appeared in the Marvel movies. This, like how this is the actual chart like of Marvel. The actual idea of Kevin Feige as well as Stan Lee. This is what they are best to do. They connect the stories in a way that no other universe or no other cinematic cinema franchises can ever do. First, they introduce characters individually, and then they start they make a team. You can see Iron Man, Incredible Hulk individually, and they group up the characters, and they released this film, The Avengers, in 2012. It first started in 2008, and they took almost 4 years to introduce their characters. Like these are the most unpopular characters Marvel ever had, but still they're able to make wonders with these characters. And again here, they take time. They take time. The first with Iron Man 3 or Captain America, Winter Soldier, Guardians of Galaxy, and again they go with Avengers of Ultron. Like this is the best thing Marvel had ever did. And Captain America, here you can see again, they made all the movies, and then here again, Avengers Endgame, the biggest movie Marvel had ever produced. And this is the phase 4, which is currently running. Like it is completely like on the multiverse saga. They had a completely went to a different format. They're bringing some new Marvel characters, which are there in MCU till now. And also like the 20th Century Fox has sold all its character. Like I'll tell you again. The 20th Century Fox, it has sold all its character rights back to Marvel in 2019, I remember. And then the dead characters like Deadpool, X-Men, and Fantastic Four has again came back to Marvel's hand. So now they had a vast availability of characters, and now they are planning something big, a multiversal thing, which is the key thing why Spiderman No Way Home has become such a success even in this pandemic time. And these are the web series Marvel is planning, and till here, all the web series are released, and these are yet pending. This one was a popular quote of Stanley: "That person who helps others simply because it should be or must be done, and because it is the right thing to do, is indeed, without a doubt, a real superhero." A simple decision why Stanley is such a great person. As I said, he says these are the characters that are larger than life. Like, who exactly is a superhero? A person who is willing to serve others without any selfishness because it is the right thing to be performed. And I'm going to introduce the characters which Marvel has ever brought into. He is director Nick Fury, the first character Marvel has ever brought. And then, like, he's the head of the Shield, which has got a large meaning, strategic, homotic. I don't remember, which means it's actually a group of organization which collects the data of all the inhumans, like people who got powers, who can help people, because he wanted to team up people to bring or like to face the consequences which aren't expected. So this is the first character, like people's favorite in the MCU, Tony Stark's Iron Man, starred by Robert Downey Jr. and Captain America Steve Rogers, another popular character, acted by Chris Evans. And Thor. I don't know if you have watched this Thor's movies in Telugu. I tried once, and the names, like the Telugu dubbing given to this particular person, like they will be like very funny. They will give names like Urmala Dwara, Julapala Raju. It will be much funnier to watch all. This Hulk, yes, as I said, Hulk was actually Universal Studios has bought the rights of Hulk, and then in 2002, Universal Studios has produced a film with Hulk. It was a disaster, and then Marvel has actually the what we call the character rights were like this. Whatever the character sold by Marvel to all the other franchises like Universal Studios, 20th Century Fox, or Sony, the contract was like this. If that particular franchise hasn't released a picture, at least one picture with that character in 5 years, those character rights get back to Marvel. So that is how Marvel rights came back to, Hulk right came back to Marvel. And in 2008, I remember, MCU has first produced a Hulk's movie with Edward Norton as a hero, like as an actor over there. But later he left the franchise, and Marvel has selected Mark Ruffalo to choose the character. And then my favorite of all time, Natasha Romanoff, who's a Russian assassin who joins forces to help people with the shield. Every time I see this character, tears run in my eyes because it was such an emotional thing Marvel has ever created, and Marvel knows when to create a character and when to kill a character. Hawkeye, Clint Barton, an archer. And in 2012, Marvel first bought this film with the Avengers teaming up all the human, superpowered people. They bought all of them into one screen, and which is a huge success of that time. And all these actors, excluding this Mark Ruffalo, got this tattoo, an Avengers tattoo on their body, indicating that this is such a special thing for them. This picture is such a special project for them. And then from there, it all started. This War Machine, one of the Tony Stark's favorite character, and then the Winter Soldier by Bucky Barnes. This is Falcon by Sam Wilson. Wanda Maximoff, Sanjay's favorite character, played by Elizabeth Olsen. Vision, a robot carrying a Mind Stone over his particular forehead. Black Panther, like the craziest character or the most responsible character in the MCU of all time, played by Chadwick Boseman. But the sad thing is that this actor is no more. He got expired with the cancer. And then these are the characters associated with the Black Panther: Shuri, T'Challa's sister, and Okai, General Okai. She's the Governor General in the Wakanda, which is a kingdom that is highly associated with the, like it's a secret kingdom, and which is the only place in the entire universe which produces vibranium, the strongest metal. I don't know how Stanley has got all these thoughts. Being a story writer, I don't know how he has got these wonderful thoughts and connected all these movies. And then the hottest character of the entire Marvel. I take a little time in explaining this particular character because while Stanley said that in an interview, he has saw some spider on the wall, and then he decided to write a comic. What if this particular spider bites a human? What might happen? And then that's the result where he wrote the comic called Spiderman, which is a huge success of that time. And then when Marvel has to sell the character rights, this is the hottest character, and Sony has bid it the highest and has achieved the character rights. And in 2002, Sony has first released the picture with Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man, which is a huge success of that time. They got 3 films under this franchise, Spider-Man 1, 2, 3, which are of them all the 3 of them are huge success. And with Andrew Garfield, they got 2 pictures. Again, they are highly success. And then with Tom Holland, they and in 2015, Marvel approached Sony to they want to use Spider-Man's character in Marvel films, and the deal was quite different. Marvel will be investing the highest amount of the Spider-Man's picture, and the highest margin of the profits will be shared by Sony. In return, Marvel will be using Spider-Man's character in their films, and that is when we saw Spider-Man in Marvel films in 2016. I remember in Civil War, and audience were the roof was glowing. Even I went to that particular film at that time when people saw Spider-Man, Peter Parker in that particular Marvel movies. It entirely changed the landscape of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it is one of the biggest success why Infinity War and Endgame has the biggest reason why Infinity War and Endgame has become that much success of all time. And Ant-Man and Wasp related to quantum concepts, another good characters. Doctor Strange, the key person for the why Marvel is going with Infinity Saga. A magician performs tasks that no one can ever imagine. The most powerful character of MCU. These are the characters associated with Doctor Strange. This person, Wong, he just travels from movie to movie, opening the portals. But even there are memes that he's the only person who's carrying the MCU on his entire bag. and she's the ancient one, the person who taught all the mystical values and mystical studies to Doctor Strange. Valkyrie, a person associated to Thor's character, like she's a warrior. A Captain Marvel, a cosmic character, played by Brie Larson. Thanos, the mightiest villain of MCU, the person who's a capability of vanishing 50% of the world's population, like the universe's population, just with a single snap. I don't know whether these people are heroes or villains. Marvel has never gave any clarity because this person, Loki, brother of Thor, is the main villain in Endgame. She's the main villain in Avengers first movie, and she's a variant, like a multiversal variant of this particular Loki character. She's Kate Bishop. She's Yelena Belova. A recent, she's the sister of Black Widow, which I said earlier, and she's an archer named Kate Bishop. She got recently introduced with the Hawkeye web series. And then this is a recent blockbuster of Marvel Cinematic Universe with the Shang-Chi character. Character completely revolves around China and Chinese traditions, and she's the sister Xialing. This character completely revolves around the 10 rings that this particular person has got from his father. And you have to watch this film. The what we call it, animations and visual effects are like awesome. The Venom MCU has never brought this into their own storylines. We saw this person only in intros and post-credit scenes of Spider-Man movies. But this one other hottest character associated with Spider-Man. Actually, all the character rights of this particular character are still with Sony. Guardians of Galaxy is like a fantasy coming true movie with all the different kind of characters which no one has ever experienced, with Peter Quill, Drax, Rocket, and all. The Groot mainly. I can surely bet that whoever watches this movie, this Groot will be the most favorite person, or like the most favorite character. And Eternals, recent Marvel's disaster. They got all the major stars of the industry, and they grouped into one. And the thing is that they missed the basic Marvel thing in this particular movie. Right from the beginning, Marvel has followed a single line, like a single thumb rule. It was like introduce every single character and then group up. But in this movie, this movie has become a huge confusion. Why which character comes, which character goes. They has even got Angelina Jolie, the most hottest character of Hollywood. But still, this movie has become a disaster. It's got a beautiful story, but still this has become disaster only because of the confusion this movie has ever created. This movie revolves around India, China. You've got various places to do. The major thing this movie has ever created is the only confusion. But this is the beautiful story Marvel has ever brought. And this is the Netflix wing of Marvel. The characters called Defenders with Iron Fist, Luke Cage, Matt Maddox, Daredevil. And I don't remember exactly her name. Jessica Jones. This another wing of the Marvel. Marvel has produced a few web series with Netflix. And then what Marvel did is that they started bringing these characters again into MCU. That's what they are best at doing. They just mix up all those characters and with a beautiful meaning. And this is a Fantastic Four franchise. Actually, 20th Century Fox has produced these films, but the key concepts and the characters are for Marvel. Since 20th Century Fox has sold all their characters back to Marvel, now they are part of Marvel MCU. And this is the X-Men, the most popular characters or the franchise of Marvel ever did. So 20th Century Fox has bought even this particular franchise of Marvel, and now they are back to MCU. And these are some of the popular characters of Marvel, like Blade, Daredevil, Howard the Duck, this person, Deadpool, and Punisher. Some of the other most popular characters of Marvel. He's a vampire hunter. He's a ghost hunter. This person, he appears every year in the MCU. And the most funniest character of MCU, the most violent character of MCU. And these are the major villains, like the most popular villains of Marvel. Why Marvel superheroes are such a big success? These are the key reason. And you can see how big the MCU is. See these characters: X-Men, Fantastic Four, Avengers, Defenders, Guardians of Galaxy. See every single character displayed over here. And yes, the best Marvel movies and web series. The Avengers, which I said, got released in 2012, which is a huge success. The Endgame, which has changed the landscape of the entire Marvel movies. And Spider-Man No Way Home, undoubtedly the best movie because it has connected us to our childhoods. Like we got to witness the characters which we saw in our childhoods. Like maybe that was the only thing. It was the main thing which made us cry in that particular movie because, as I said, in 2002, Sony has released a film called Spiderman, starring Tobey Maguire, and it was the time we started growing. Like we started watching films, and the hottest, as Spider-Man is the hottest superhero character ever, that character will be cherished for the lifetime. And when they thought of bringing those characters, like you thought they won't be seen again as a Spider-Man again, like Tobey Maguire is Spider-Man and his name? Andrew's Amazing Spider-Man. When they brought all those characters back into this particular Marvel, it was like amazing. It made us remember to our childhoods, which surely made us cry in that particular movie. Iron Man 1, a huge success. Captain America Civil War, a crossover movie where the characters of that particular franchise fight with each other. Huge success again. Shang-Chi, as I said, best visual effects. Thor's Ragnarok, the only movie in Thor's franchise which is a huge success, which has brought Hulk into this particular film, which is again won audience heart. Guardians of Galaxy Volume 2, which has the only reason why this movie is a huge success is because of Baby Groot. One will surely love that. Black Panther, as I said, Chadwick Boseman's the Kingdom of Wakanda, how the things go on with Wakanda and all. What if this is a web series, an animated web series? This is an animated web series saying that what if what if the particular thing doesn't happen that way? What does that result in? Maybe creation of some alternate universe, a parallel universe. So this movie, this animated web series, completely revolve over those things. The climax of this particular what if is the best thing Marvel has ever did with web series. Infinity War, as I said, the war with Infinity Stones, the main stepping stone why Marvel's Avengers Endgame was become that success. WandaVision, a fairy tale like web series, which is a beautiful thing to watch, and Spider-Man Far From Home, why No Way Home has become that success. This is the stepping stone for that particular film. As I said, Marvel, they interlink all the movies, all the characters. See, right from this Avengers Endgame, you can see the only film, the entire movie industry, which has carried the weight of 23 other films. That's the capability of Marvel and the storytelling. Yeah, you can again see this far from home. This movie has come immediately after Avengers Endgame, featuring the world without the most powerful superheroes like Tony Stark and Captain America, how the world will be. And this has laid a foundation to the infinite, like multiversal saga. This has resulted in a huge success like Spider-Man No Way Home. And these are the least rated Marvel movies, undoubtedly Thor, The Dark World. Even the best thing with Marvel movies is to understand the worst movies, you have to watch the worst movies. Like Thor, The Dark World, it has, as I said, all these movies, they get the best story. But why, I don't know why these movies turn to be disasters, just because sometimes Marvel just rushes with the storytelling concept. See this Thor, The Dark World. It has got a huge story. Iron Man 2, a very bulky story. Spider-Man Homecoming. again the same Eternals. That's what the main problem with Marvel. Sometimes it happens with Marvel. I don't know why. But to understand the best movies, you have to watch all these like the least rated movies of Marvel. So the next thing, yeah, the best Marvel phrases, and this is the best phrase Marvel has ever brought into line. With great power comes great responsibility. The best dialogue Stanley has ever written, and it was my favorite. And Morgan Stark, she is the daughter of Iron Man. I love you 3000. Anyone who has watched particularly Endgame, this particular scene, it will revolve around your mind. And I Am Iron Man by Tony Stark. The part of the journey is the end. It's again by the Tony Stark's character. Avengers Assemble by Steve Rogers in every single movie, in every single in every single group of movie. This is the most popular movie, popular dialogue of Steve Rogers. See you in a minute by Natasha Romanoff. As I said, Marvel knows when to start a character and when to kill a character. And if you see Avengers Endgame for the first time, it's just a dialogue. And if you see that movie for the second time, you know how depth this movie, this dialogue is actually. She says, we will see in a minute, but that minute was like forever. And then Nick Fury's I still believe in heroes. It was a dialogue in Avengers, first Avengers movie. Steve Rogers, I can do this all day. Is another dialogue, popular dialogue of Steve Rogers. And we are Groot. It's a dialogue from Guardians of Galaxy, said by the Groot. I love this character the most. And then the hardest choices require the toughest, strongest ways, like Thanos. Even the mightiest villains have the darkest past, and Marvel is very best at showing even their villains. He says he just want to kill the half of the world's population just because to make the reserves, the reserves and all which are available adequate for the remaining people. So that is how the Marvel frames the particular characters. And then Thina, when you love something, you have to protect it. Another good line. And this one of the popular line of mine. Heroes, they're not born. They're forged in darkness, shaped in battles, defined by sacrifice. Said by a watcher. I really like this movie, this particular dialogue. Another best line Marvel has ever wrote, and this Wakanda Forever, said by the people of Wakanda, which is a goosebump scene. And yes, the pros of Marvel, as I said, connectivity and storytelling. When we particularly go into Marvel movies, particularly the followers of Marvel, they do not leave the movie screen, like movie theater, immediately after the end credits and all. You can see some people still sitting in their seats, sticking that they know that the makers of the movie has got something for them to see, a little clue for their upcoming projects or connecting this movie to the another movies of the MCU, and the storytelling. They are best at saying, because every single movie is interlinked. Like I said, 2002's Spiderman movie is interlinked to 2022's 21's. Almost after this movie got connected almost after 20 years. Yeah. And then super villains of the MCU. Marvel's heroes are such a success only because they got the toughest villains, and then simple and emotional stories with complex situations. The major competitor in the market for Marvel is DC. DC, what happens is that the stories are complex, but with Marvel, the stories are simple, emotional, but they make the situations complex, which make the viewers understand the particular concept and feel with that movie. That doesn't.
We lost your voice. Sairam, we are not able to.
It happened with DC. As I even watch DC movies, that doesn't happen with them. Post and mid.
Okay. Go ahead. I think now we can hear you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, now we can.
Hello?
Yes, we can
Hello?
hear you. Can you hear us?
Go ahead.
Hello?
Go ahead. Yes. We can hear you, Sairam.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we are able to hear you.
I think he's
Please
not
go
able
ahead.
to hear us.
Hello?
He's not able to hear us, I think.
You have muted your mic.
I'll just call him.
Hello? Ma'am, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Did I miss something? Like whether it has got some long time? I don't know.
No, you go ahead.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
And then picturizing the internal misunderstandings with self principles like movies of like Civil War. Like in every single Marvel movie, you can see even these particular superheroes who team up to work together, they fight with each other. It happens again and again. But with movies like Civil War, the Avengers group up into two teams fighting with each other because they believe in their own principles. Like one particular character believes that a particular person is innocent, while the other believes that he's the one who actually commits the crime. So they are best in doing this. And arms and weaponry are given equal importance. Like if you see the Thor's Mjolnir, which is his hammer, or is a Stormbreaker, Iron Man suits, Captain America shield, everything will be given the equal importance that is given to the character itself. And then the Marvel comics, which are like the backbone of the entire Marvel MCU. Like they have the strongest comic base ever, only because of which Marvel was able to do all these miracles this day. And absolutely the best visual effects and their cast. Without the visual effects, superhero movies will never be that success. And the cast, they select the best cast for their movies. And with Stanley's cameos, every single Marvel movie till 2019 has got Stanley's cameos. Like Stanley will appear in at least in a single role in the particular movie, making a cameo. And if you see Civil War, the almost in the climax scene, Stanley appears and calls Tony Stark as Tony Stank. If any other person does the same thing, the fans might get completely hurt and they will be like yelling with the character. But only but fans just laugh with that scene because Stanley who did that. The person who has created them, these characters did them. So every single Stanley's cameo will surely generate a laugh or a smile over our face. We'll be missing him for sure.
Stanley is the author of Phantom, isn't it? Sairam? Stanley is the author of Phantom, no? Phantom comics.
Yes, sir. He has authored many stories. Yes, Phantom. He's the major author of Marvel comics.
Yeah.
He's the key person behind the Marvel. And these are some of the cons of MCU. Actors leaving the franchise, as I said, like Edward Norton left the franchise immediately after producing Hulk's movie, and hurriedness in storytelling, like this made disaster like Iron Man 2. Sometimes I don't know why Marvel feels a rush in saying the story. It makes other pictures a huge success, but particularly a few pictures they become disasters like Eternals, Iron Man 2. Characterized issue as I said. So Marvel has to pay a lot of this profit margin to Sony because Sony has bought their characters long time back, and every single this another rumor just goes around with Marvel. Every single movie revolves around with the New York City and America. I don't know why. As you can see even in the pandemic time, superheroes will be saying the entire world with, but they only come from New York and America. And maybe Marvel has took it a little seriously. They recently got this Shang-Chi picture from China, and Eternals, the movie entirely revolved around India. And then this particular person, Stanley, we have to thank him for sure. Like he's the only he's the a key reason why our childhoods are still remembered. the person who has created the character like Spider-Man, Iron Man, Captain America, Doctor Strange, the true Excelsior for sure. Like in our childhood, like every single day, I remember I used to open JetX channel and used to watch Spider-Man movies. And my father used to change the channel very quickly. And I used to fight to get back the channel. I used to cry and cry. Somehow I had to watch that particular comic for sure. So he's the key reason why our childhoods are still remembered. And I can't imagine our childhoods without those particular comic characters and those particular movies like Spider-Man, Iron Man movies. Thank you, Stanley, the true Excelsior. Thank you.
Thank you, Sairam.
Well done.
Just
Well done.
yeah, making the screen.
Hello? Yeah.
So as people kindly unmute yourself and members, I request you all to give the response and feedback and interact on this. First of all, Sairam, excellent presentation. We are very, very impressive and great efforts from your side. So
Thank you.
Yeah, hope you're able to hear. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, over to the members, please. Interaction time.
Very exhaustive.
Yeah.
Very exhaustive, and so much of culture interwoven that can you hear me?
Yes, yes, very much.
Yeah, Sairam, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because he has gone into background, and I think this is the reason why you may know that in 2015, the University of Baltimore has started an academic course on this franchise. They are teaching an entire course from 2015 onward on this particular franchise to know the impact of this huge experience that is Marvel Cinematic Universe, to be taught by Arnold T. Bloomberg. Just sharing.
Okay. Interesting to know. Yes, Sairam. So you've been watching this for quite some time. Looks like you're a huge fan of this. I understand from all the exhaustive presentations and everything. I think you've covered quite a bit. I mean, almost all.
Yeah, like till recent days, I thought like I am just the only person, but right now I am seeing people who are even people who are elder to me, like who are in 30s, 40, even 40s. They are the huge fans of these particular movies. They're coming, they're watching these movies. I can see my managers coming to watch these movies because they feel like these are the characters that are associated, which are connected to their childhood. Like everyone's childhood is remembered, and these characters make them remembered for the lifetime. And if I have to say for the next generation or any people, what's the best thing you did? I must say that I watched Marvel comic characters.
Okay.
Aaron, by the time you came for your age, you are seeing the movies. We all read the Marvel comics. So that comics are so peculiar. They are different from other comics where the comical figure will be only contained to one small square box or rectangular box. Here, this Marvel comics will run across many boxes. The person stretches his hand, goes into 3 boxes across. Boom, boom, wham, wham. Such kind of things we all learned there only. So wonderful characters are built, and each character has got a characteristic thing, and they are very futuristic in their application. Everything about decade or more than ahead. People flying and then charging batteries, robots, big robo arms. That what do you call it? Iron Man 2. The fellow has got a big villain. The fellow will have very big arms, steel arms. So he'll do all the crashing, and then he climbs the buildings, gets down. All these things are so marvelous to watch. And the buildings collapses, then cars flying in the air. All these things, of course, they're so marvelous to see in real time, rather than in comic manner. That's where they are actually scoring a lot.
True.
Even Spider-Man is so thrilling, really thrilling. The fellow is a person who works for even Superman or Spider-Man. Spider-Man actually works for some globe or some agency, news agency, He becomes a Spider-Man.
He pictures his own film, like his own pictures, and sell those pictures to that particular newspaper agency as a freelancer.
There are two characters you were mentioning, Sairam. One is like Nicolas Cage character, Ghost Rider, no?
Yeah, yes.
Does that have any connection to that?
Actually, Ghost Rider character is a Marvel character. But again, as I said, Marvel has sold a few rights of their characters to Sony and all. So now Ghost Rider is officially a Sony's character. Like Sony has the rights to picture any movie with that particular character.
Okay.
But there are still rumors going on that this Ghost Rider character might appear in the future MCU projects. Like as I said, Marvel is currently planning with multiversal movies, and Ghost Rider might appear in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness.
Okay. Okay. And one more is like he goes into parallel universes and all that. There's one more character like that, no?
Which
Mentioning.
character exactly?
I am sorry, I had lost the name. So he'll be able to access parallel universes and
Doctor Strange.
So he will be talking with parallel what do you call creations, or at the same time he's getting into different worlds.
Yes, Wong's character.
Okay.
Wong from Doctor Strange.
Yeah. So
actually, this particular person, as I saw recently, like in the Phase 4 movies of MCU, there came movies as well as web series. He's moving from movie to movie with the same particular attire. Like he's opening some particular portal, and then he's switching from movie.
No, my question.
He came
my question is about this particular character. Has it been designed from or taken from Richard Bach's one? There's one book of Richard Bach in which I think Jonathan Livingstone Seagull is more prominent. Illusions and other books of Mr. Richard Bach are more prominent. So there is one book he has written on parallel universes existing at the same time. So it's like a metaphysical fiction. And he talks about a person who keeps, he and his wife actually, they get in touch with their younger selves when they're 16. Then they meet somebody else in the past. So many things are there, like, what parallel universe concept that has been written quite some time back. I was like wondering, has it been taken from that book?
No, not exactly. Even I referred the same thing, like
Okay.
whether Wong is associated with any other characters and all. Wong is purely a Marvel's character.
Okay.
He's from the Doctor Strange faction.
Okay. Yeah, others, please, if you would like to ask or interact on this, please.
It was a very nice review, Sairam. I was feeling like when you are reviewing, when I was seeing this PPT and all, I wanted to talk because I actually me and Sairam used to watch so many Marvel movies. I mean, we haven't been watching it together, but after watching a movie, we used to discuss about it for a lot of time.
Yeah.
So this happened with Spider-Man film, the No Way Home. I still remember I took leave, telling them that I got fever and went to watch the film.
And I took an exchange.
Yeah.
I took an exchange to watch the film.
Okay.
I cannot miss it on the first day.
Right. So
I was shouting so much that is the power of Marvel. It connects with everyone. Even all the films, not just Spider-Man, all the films, it connects with everyone. It is just making impossible possible. That's it. It was a very nice review, Sairam.
Absolutely, I agree with Sandhya that it is a very nice review. The best part I liked about it is the very first slide that you have taken. You're talking about who is a superhero and how they are defined and all that. Now, any selfless act that can benefit people where he can see beyond himself and doesn't expect anything in return. Actually, very nice way of putting things in order. For people who have actually never watched any of these movies also, I think you've given a wonderful overview about, like, true to your title, I mean, for your presentation and a book review, book cinema review. This is really nice.
As Stanley said, these are the characters that are larger than life. Like one can never experience them in their lifetime. You have to buy a ticket for the Marvel movie, get your 3D goggles, and you have to watch it. That's it.
Definitely, I can see that coming from your presentation. So, others who would like to ask anything? Dr. Garu, are you able to hear us?
అలా వెళ్ళలేదండి.
Okay, ఇప్పుడు వినిపిస్తుందా మీకు?
ఇప్పుడు వినిపిస్తుంది.
మధ్యలో I think you lost the audio. So, you have anything else, or anybody else has any more points to put? Then we can go ahead with our next part of the program.
బుక్ అంటే రియల్ చాలా బాగుంటుందండి. బుక్ అంటే మూవీ ఇస్ వెరీ గుడ్.
ఓకే, మార్వెల్ దే చెప్తున్నారు కదా?
యా, మార్వెల్.
ఓకే.
యు ఫైండ్ లివింగ్ క్యారెక్టర్స్ దేర్.
I think that's the reason why
అలాగే మైకెల్ క్రిక్టన్ జురాసిక్ పార్క్
preferring movie reviews rather than book reviews of late.
Yes, correct. ఇప్పుడు జురాసిక్ పార్క్ కూడా క్రిక్టన్ అని రాసినప్పుడు మీరు ఎడిట్ బట్ అదంతా పిలియంటాలజీ అని రాశాడు కానీ బట్ మూవీ వచ్చేప్పటికి ఇట్స్ రియల్ థిల్. Real dinosaurs.
It makes sense because you're involving all your senses, more senses there, and then there is the experience part of it, which is more relatable with others.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Jurassic Park 1 is still the classic.
So I think with that we come to an end of the review. Thanks, Sairam, once again for a wonderful tour into your experiential world of characters. Most of the characters, I think you've covered all the characters of Marvel, and the journey of how this business model has you have touched many various sides to this, which is very interesting about the review. Excellent efforts. So we look forward to have this in our channel soon, so for others to also have a look at it. So I hope you're able to see the messages, Sairam.
Yeah.
So Krishna says, hi Sairam, Stanley will be proud of your presentation, good one. Then very, very wonderful presentation and coverage, Sairam. Janakiram Garu says that. So, and yeah, so that's about it. So we'll go ahead with the next